All right, so on this topic, we're going to be discussing fuel conversions. Personally, I find that fuel conversions are the easiest problem that you're going to be experiencing on the test. The reason for that is just because you're going to be you're using the E6B to simply do either a multiplication or a division problem. So you're essentially taking the fuel weight, multiplying it by fuel in gallons to figure out how many pounds of fuel you have. So starting off, we're going to be on page 75. If you're following along in the book, we're going to be doing questions 1 through 5. One thing that I like to do beforehand is you always want to estimate. I'm sure that your instructor is going to tell you to estimate. This one's very easy to estimate. And what I mean by that is, like I said before, you're multiplying this number by this number to equal this number. So in this case, you could just do division. So this number right here is close to 2,400. This number right here is equal to 6. So 2,400 divided by 6 is 400. So you're going to be looking for a number that's roughly 400. So I'm going to put 400 just over here for my estimation. And now we're actually going to be going in the E6B and finding out the correct answer. So in this instance, we're going to be utilizing the ratio right here, which is fuel weight over the 10 equals pounds over gallons. So it's really easy. Every single problem, you're given a fuel weight. So you're going to be taking this number, which is 6.4, or if you're looking on the E6B, you're going to be looking for 64, and then putting it over the 10. So let's go ahead and do that, number 1. So 64 is going to be right in between 60 and 70. Rotate that 10, so it's right about there. Now those two are lined up. Now we're going to rotate it. We're going to be looking for 23.4 in this case. So 23.4 is between 20 and 25, 21, 22, 23. I like to use the red line, but make sure if you do use the red line to line this up, you cover up the whichever one you're not using to make sure you don't screw yourself over. So for here, it's going to be 20, 21, 22, 23.4. Now I'm going to be looking on the inside, and that's 35, 36, 36 and a half. So 365. So right now we're going to be looking right here, and fuel in gallons is going to be 365 gallons. All right, so now number 2, we're going to be looking for 6.6. So we're going to be looking for 66. Luckily for these problems, you won't have to move the whiz wheel much just to find that next number. So you're just going to rotate it over to 6.6 or 66. Now we're going to be looking for 42. So 42, we're going to be looking for that on the outside. Now we're going to find 42, which is going to be right there. I'm going to take my red line, look down, and that's going to be right at, I would say, so 600, 610, 620, 630, say 638. Yeah, 638. So right there, so 638 gallons. And that's going to be the same answer that's in your book. So now for this problem, we're going to be looking for these two numbers to be multiplied together to find out the fuel in pounds. So this number right here, the fuel in gallons, is pretty close to 2,000. And then this number right here is close to 7. So if I go down on this number and then I go up on this number, it should even itself out to be about the same number, or to be about this correct number in here. So 2,000 times 7 is 14,000. So our estimate for here is going to be 14,000. So now we're going to take 6.8 pounds for our weight, and then we're going to line that up with our rate index, which is, again, that is at 10. So 6.8 is going to move it over to And then we're going to be looking for 22, but we're going to be looking for this on the inside instead of the outside. Always reference back to your ratio whenever it's on your dump sheet, because when you're going through the test, it's going to happen fast, and you want to make sure that you're not messing anything up. So now we're going to go ahead and look for 22 on the inside. Right above that is 15. So 15 estimation was 14. So for here, I'm going to put 15,000. The correct answer in the book is going to be 14,950, but getting 15,000, you're going to get close enough that you'll be able to figure out the answer from the options that are given to you. All right, so for here, 6.5 and 14, these are pretty close to the same numbers that we saw for here. So most likely this number is going to be right around there. So let's just estimate that it's right around 2,200. So we're going to be looking for 6.5, so 65, and then we're going to match that up with our rate index. So 6.5 is just that longer line right there in between 60 and 70. 65 matching up with our rate index. And now we're going to be rotating so we can find 14 on the outside. 14 on the outside is going to be right there. Take our red line, and that's going to be right in between 21 and 22, so roughly around 2150. So our answer for here would be 2150 gallons. And so the answer that's in the book is going to be 2,158 gallons. This is only 8 off. You'll be able to figure out the answer from that. All right, so the last one for fuel conversions is going to be number 5, and the number that we're going to be looking for is 66. So find 66 on the outside, and then move our rate index so it matches up there. And now we're going to be looking for 64 on the inside. Because again, we have gallons, so gallons is going to be on the bottom of the ratio. We're looking for pounds. So we're going to look for 64 on the inside. So 64, so that's 60, that's 65, 64 is right there. And now we're going to look up, it's going to be, so 4,000, 4,100, 4,200, and it's about a quarter of the way through there. So I would estimate 4,225. So 4,225 pounds. The correct answer in the book is 4,230 pounds. But like I said, this is close enough, you'll be able to figure it out. So just remember, as you're going through these, always reference this scale. You're never gonna have to worry about either one of these ones. You're never gonna deviate from the 10. So your fuel weight is always gonna be over 10, and then it's gonna be pounds over gallons.